The Indian chess super talents are shining bright on the world stage, and at the first Fujairah Global Chess Championship Masters, we could see many of them fighting for the title. In the sixth round, one of India's strongest juniors, International Master Ilam Parthi, was up against International Master Shoham Kamotra, who is the only IM from his state, Jammu and Kashmir. Soham defeated Ilam Parthi with some fantastic play and joins us in the studio to share his thoughts on the game. Soham, we are in the sixth round of the first Fujairah Global Championship Masters. You have played an excellent game against Ilam Parthi. Congratulations on the win. Would you like to share your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, sure. So, coming to the game, I wanted to play something solid, but Ilam Parthe, true to his style, complicated things right on move 4. So, all pretty normal until now, and now he played e4. So, this is called Adiban Vladimir Gambit, and he's basically sacrificing the pawn. And had I taken knight e4, then he can capture, and get initiated with d5. I have to play knight g3, or maybe first take knight g3. And then he can push h5 and harass my knight further. So I played queen a4. My point is, if he plays d5, cd, there is a pin, so he can't capture back, and d4 is still hanging. So here I knew b5 and I knew queen e7, but he surprised me with this pawn a6. And his idea is pretty clear. He wants to play b5 and take the c pawn and then play d5. So I thought, okay, I have to capture because it's the only critical try. And here he took and played this very interesting idea with b5. So his point was, if I take cb, which I did in the game, cb, it looks like white is winning in exchange with knight f6 or knight d6. It's a knight d6. But the trap is after bishop d6, queen e4, and let's say bishop e7 back, queen e8 and knight c6, my queen is trapped on a8. The queen doesn't have any escape squares. So here I played queen d4, and I thought that this is the only move for me. And here he played d5. And now my pieces are getting pushed back. If I just play knight c3, and after bishop e6, I have to reckon with knight c6 and d4, which is very uncomfortable for me. And I think he's already better. So here I gave queen e5 check. If bishop e6, then knight g5 was my point. And now I can take knight e6, and I am simply slightly better. But in the game he played bishop e7, and the game became even more sharp because he's sacrificing another pawn. I had no choice but to take rook f8 and knight g3. And here he developed his knight with knight c6. So his point is to play knight b4 or knight d4 if given the chance, and then to invade on c2. And it's not easy for me to stop this idea because my pieces are totally underdeveloped. So here I became even more greedy. But the point is not to take the pawn, the point is to cover the c2 square with the queen. And here he played this mysterious move, bishop f6. I did not really understand his idea. I thought he had to play queen c7 and threaten knight b4 again. But had he played queen c7, here I think I was planning to play e3, knight b4, and here I saw bishop d3. Yeah, bishop d3, and I thought white should be holding. Here if he plays bishop f6, threatening rook h8, and then I can't defend d3, I thought here knight h5. Maybe a3 is even better, but during the game I thought knight h5, bishop e5, and now I can just move my bishop with bishop f5, because now rook h8, there is knight g7. That is the point. On bishop f6, I played e3 just to develop my pieces, but after bishop e6, he also allowed d4, and now I thought I was winning because once the pawn structure is cemented, he doesn't have any breaks, and then I can develop normally. And once my pieces are developed, white is just 3 pawns up. So he played queen e7, I developed. And here I think I played queen d3, which is good because queen b1 might look more natural, but queen d3 giving a tempo with knight b4 is smarter because even though he gets knight b4 and rook c8, his threats are not real. Knight c2 is threatened, but after just bishop d1, which I think he underestimated, I'm just threatening a3 or bishop d2 and his pieces have to go back. So here he played rook c4, I went bishop d2, just developing. Now also I want to play rook c1 and trade pieces. He went a5, I played a3, driving his knight back. And now I finished the game concretely. I took the pawn, which looks risky because after bishop d7 there are all kind of discoveries. But I can just run with my king and finally on 23rd move, white can castle. So here he took and I grabbed. I lost the count of the pawn. And here bishop e6 he played, and after check, rook c8, and here the circle point is bishop a4 check, forcing his king to go f8. Had he played bishop d7, it's just queen c8 because of the king. But and king d8, there is bishop a5. So after king f8, I can take on a5, and now there is a double threat. His knight is hanging, and bishop b4 is coming, pinning the queen and king, and that's why he resigned.
What a fantastic game. I think around 11th or 12th move you got the advantage already,
Yeah.
right? And you were also so much ahead on time. So would you like to share with us your preparation coming into this game? Because as you mentioned, that Ilam Bhatti is quite strong in his age category. So how did you prepare for this game?
I did not prepare a whole lot, but I wanted to play something solid, so that's why I chose English opening.
Mhm.
But already on move, I knew that he plays this c6 line, but after queen a4, he had only played queen e7, and after queen c2 b5. I had prepared this from the white side, but he surprised me with a6. This didn't even exist in my file. So from here on, I was on my own.
Right. Amazing game, and 3 more rounds to go. All the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.